Welcome back. This tutorial is going to be on how to make your client's screen less complicated when they're requesting an account or when they're filling out a work order. So I'm going to log out as me, and I am going to log in as Zach Wilson, who is set up as a web requester like most of your clients should be. And you'll see what the screen could look like. So when I log in as Zach, I have just a few options, and the one that we're most concerned with is new work order. So when he goes to submit a new work order, clicks on new work order, he has a couple of request types. No, corporate support's the only request type he has. From request code, he has just a few options: biomed support, corporate support, housekeeping, IT, site visit. And then the information that he fills out is just what's his name, what's his location, the shop, a target start date, target end date, and that's all optional. And then the bulk of what's going to go in here is his notes. So I'm going to say that Zach has questions about how, or please send Kevin to help with Sprocket. And he submits a new work order. And that's it, and that's all the options that Zach has to submit a work order. So it's not too complicated. What you have to do to make it easier is you can view one of the earlier training sessions that we recorded on Request Screen Manager, but I'll go through another brief tutorial here real quick. But I have to log out as me, and I have to log back in as Zach, or log out as Zach and back in as me. So where we're going to go is Administration, Work Management, and down to Request Screen Manager. And then, well, I guess I should start somewhere else first. You go to Administration, Work Management, and down to Request Types. Now your request types are most likely work order, preventative maintenance, and maybe a few others. But what you have to decide is what is the request type that they're going to be filling out. Obviously they're not filling out preventative maintenance, so I'll build this tutorial based around work order. So you click on work order, and what you're looking for is this box right here to be checked: viewable by web requester. This is what your users should be whenever they have an account, so that it's very minimal what they see. You check that box, and then you'll hit save and exit. And when you hit save and exit, where I had corporate support as my only drop down, which if you noticed I just exited, that's because corporate support is my only one that I have viewable by web requester checked, because that's the only one I want web requesters filling out. The other ones I fill out. So after that, you can go to Administration, Work Management, and down to Requests. And from the requests, these are that huge number of request codes that you saw some of your clients may have. So you see, I do have a lot of request codes. I have code, incident, room discharge, theft, vandalism, violent, etc., all the way down the page. However, if you search for the request type of corporate support, that's where I only have those few options that are available to my web requesters. So what you could do is create a new request type and call it web requesters, and then just put in a couple of options that you want your web requesters to have right here. And then you'll have to make note of if you created a new request type, or if you're using an existing one. If you click on it, it shows you the default job types, new work order status types. That's going to be important in just a second. So I'm going to go to Administration, Work Management. Now I am going to the Request Screen Manager. From this screen, I have to select the request type. This is what I'm going to change. This is what my web requesters are looking at. If you used work order, type work order here. If you used web requester, type web requester. If you're using corporate support, which is what I'm using, I'm going to type corporate support. And then when it brings this screen up, I'm going to click on You should only have one, but I'm going to click on corporate support. What you're looking for is these green check marks to the side that tell you it's the default. And then this brings up what the options are that the client is going to have to fill out. So you said there's too many drop downs, so you can move them and make it as simple as you want. If I do not want anyone to choose the target start date or target end date, I just drag and drop them from right to left. Depending on your screen resolution, this entire box may be down here underneath the gray, and you'll have to drag up and down instead of left and right. Once you have it filled out the way you want, all you have to do is click on Save Now. And that is going to save it. So now when one of my web requesters fills it out, their only options are going to be these three items plus the request code, and then down in the very bottom they'll have an area for their comments still. And to show you, I'm going to go ahead and log out, and I'm going to log back in as Zach. We're going to create a new work order. You see now I only have these three options. I can select the request code, which again, there's only a handful of them because these are the only request codes with the request type of corporate support. And they can fill out their notes. I'm going to log out and then log back in as me again. And show you the last thing that you need to check on, and that's that the people from administration, work management, and down to people are in fact in the group called web requesters. So I'm going to click on Zach Wilson, and you're looking in this groups tab up here. Click on groups, and they should be in this group, Vanguard Web Requester. If they're not, you can simply start typing web requester. And you see there's two. There's a web requester approval group and a web requester. You want your users in the web requester group. You click on it, click add, save and exit, and it's over. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful to you. Feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email with any questions.